Welcome to week 6. Today I thought we'd discuss how to best combine cardio and muscle building. There is an established myth that you can't or shouldn't combine the two, but I think all CrossFitters are proof that you can. More about that later on. Let's start off with this week's training. I hit another small PR this week, great indicator that my training program is working. Thanks coach, even though it contains both cardio and strength training. The PR was at 74 kilogram or 163 pounds clean and jerk. So again, only a PR by 1 kilogram, but still, every increase counts. And I'm actually quite happy with the lift as well. Good form and nice speed on the clean, so I think that there could be more in the tank. I've been taught that you should celebrate every PR like it's a world record, and I actually stand behind it. If you have been training for a long time, they don't come as often. However, they are still important milestones towards your goal, and I do think that it can help with motivation as well. Small indicators that you are moving in the right direction makes it easier to continue the grind. That leads us into my grind and the weekly updated ranking. This week I did another quarterfinal workout I hadn't done before. It was test 5 from 2022 that contains 30 calories row, 20 burpee box jump over and 10 snatches at 135 pounds for women. The time cap is 7 minutes. The snatch weight is 5 pounds over my PR, but I know that I'm really close at hitting it. As I said before, the weightlifting is moving in the right direction. However, I did have snatch waves leading into this session, and 130 pounds moved nicely, so I also tried 60 kilograms or 132 pounds. But let's just say that today was not the day. I wanted it so badly that I tried 3 times. With that in mind, I decided to only do the rowing and burpee box jump over and see how much time I would have left for my snatch attempts. And saving the risky lifts for when it really matters. That is, in real competition. With a pace that made it possible to try some lifts after, I finished the rowing and burpee box jump over in 3 minutes and 9 seconds, which would give me enough time for a couple attempts. The 50 reps I did in these workouts give me an updated ranking of 3,516. This workout contains both cardio and heavy lifts, which lead us into today's topic, how to best combine the two. As I said initially, CrossFit is a great example of how it's possible to both improve your strength and your conditioning at the same time. However, there is a long history in the training community of saying that cardio will mess up your gains. What started this myth was a study from 1980, so more than 40 years ago, where the participants were divided into 3 groups. One who did a strength training program with 5 sessions a week, one endurance group who trained 6 sessions of conditioning a week, and one group who did both training programs at the same time. So a hell lot of volume if you're an average exerciser. This study lasted for 10 weeks, and it showed that the strength training program gave strength gains, the endurance training program gave increase in VO2 max, and the combined group only increased their VO2 max. They had no strength development. Hence, the conclusion was drawn that you can't make any strength gains while training endurance at the same time. And that's the information that has been circulating online ever since. Fortunately, there have been many people proving the opposite, and therefore more studies have been made. A meta-analysis from 2021 showed that if you are novice to training, you will make equal or even better gains if you combine strength training with conditioning. It also showed that strength training has no negative effect on endurance training. In contrast, customized strength training will actually help you get better at your endurance sport. However, the study also showed that if you are an experienced athlete, there is an interference between endurance training and power. But this was mostly if you combine the two in the same session. If the strength training and endurance training was separated with at least 3 hours, the negative effect was greatly reduced. So with that said, what you need to keep in mind when you combine strength training and conditioning is, first of all, look over your overall volume. If you don't have time to recover from your training, you won't make any gains. If you are an experienced athlete, you will need more volume to increase your strength, and therefore less time and energy to focus on endurance training if you prioritize strength. If you are pretty new to training though and do, for example, 2 full body sessions a week and 1 running session, there is no interference whatsoever and you will be able to make great gains. There will always be the principle of specificity to keep in mind. That is, that you become better at the things you train at. So, first of all, decide what's most important to you at the moment. Depending on your current level, your goals and ambitions, you may have to do some adjustments to your training if you want to combine strength and endurance training. In my case, I need to work a lot more on my strength than on my endurance to become a better CrossFit athlete. And therefore, a larger part of my training volume will be focused on strength training. But that doesn't mean I have to skip cardio entirely, especially if you separate your pure endurance training from your strength training and do them in separate sessions. However your training program looks like, remember that consistency is key to all worthwhile things in life, not least when it comes to training. See you guys next week.